didn't fire a cannon at one of the Great Pyramids of Cheops.
No, they didn't. No.
Well, why the heck was that in the movie?
Why not? It's a movie.
I don't know why they made a movie. Somebody in Hollywood said, hey, look, you know what we'll do? We'll make a movie about Napoleon where he's this big freaking simp.
But that makes you just said you've been super into a woman. Why does that make you weak? Welcome to The Real Generation Gap, the show where we review movies old and new from two different generational perspectives. My name is Shane Schildmeyer.
And I'm Fred Satilli.
And today we are reviewing the new movie, Napoleon. Before we dive into the review, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also follow us on Spotify. You know, if you want to listen to the show while you're on your way to work or you're at the gym, you could always check us out there as well. Let's get into the review.
Somebody in Hollywood said, hey, look, you know what we'll do? We'll make a movie about Napoleon where he's this big freaking simp.
I love your 1920s perception of a Hollywood guy. That's great.
Oh, yeah. If I had a cigar, it'd even be better. Look, Morty, listen, we're going with the simp route on this Napoleon thing, okay?
But you don't... There's all these love letters that he wrote to her and stuff. He was a simp. I don't see, like, if them portraying him as a simp. It seems like he was a simp.
Well, thank God they finally made the Napoleon Simp movie, because I was hoping for the Napoleon, the incredible military strategist, the guy who recovered the economy. The French economy was destroyed by the French Revolution. They killed Robespierre, Louis XVIII, didn't want to be the king. They had a giant power vacuum. This guy came into the power vacuum. He made the country prosperous again. Economy, everybody was eating. Before that, everybody was starving. When he came, everybody was eating. Now, everybody was doing military. You know, it was a military country.
And all the while, he was super in love with this chick.
So why didn't he make love and art instead of soldiers?
But why not both? He's a great general, but he's also passionately in love with this woman, even though she's cheating on him all the time. I just don't see why those are the same story.
I'm accepting it.
Yeah.
I'm accepting that this movie was made, but I just got to wonder what the agenda was. Why would you make a movie like this? Why was it important for us to see Napoleon in this regard? I've been reading history for 50 years now, and this...
A quarter of your life.
Right, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. A little, you know. But, you know, on the off time, you know, in my spare time, I did it.
I don't see a problem with that. It's one perspective of someone's entire life. There's so much to someone's life, and this one romance.
So you think it's important for masculinity?
I don't think it's important. I think it's what the director chose to do.
Apparently, he did. Yeah. I want to know why. What was the compulsion to do that? How did he grow up that he said, you know, I'm going to make Napoleon the Simp movie? I don't think
he said that. I think maybe he said, I want to focus on the love story here. Just like in Killers of the Flower Moon, it was a totally different movie. And then they said, let's focus on the romance aspect of it. Granted, this is not based on... Well, it is based on historical context, actually.
Right.
But...
yeah, there was a love story aspect.
Yeah, but that whole movie was supposed to be totally different. They focused on the romance aspect. Just like this. The director said, Napoleon's a really cool general... but there's also Napoleon's this awesome general, but there's also this love story going on where his wife's cheating on him. Do they actually love each other? Do we know he gets remarried, but he still writes letters to his ex-wife? I think it's a story.
So underneath it all, he was a weak little boy.
But that makes you just said you've been super into a woman. Why does that make you weak?
Yeah. Because I was weak for a woman. I'm not proud of those times. That was a low point. That was a low point for me.
No, I get it. I've been there too.
When I allowed myself to be a doormat.
Yeah, but it's reality. It's real. It happens to everybody. When you're in love, you're in love.
Okay, well, hell's bells then.
Yeah, and I don't see that.
It was a great portrayal of Napoleon the Simp.
Yeah, I don't think this was a great movie, but I don't think that was the problem. I'm not even really sure what the problem was, but I don't think it was that.
Now, the same thing happened with the historical aspects, right? They didn't fire a cannon at one of the Great Pyramids of Cheops.
No, they didn't. No.
Well, why the heck was that in the movie?
Why not? It's a movie, not a documentary. What? No part in the movie they say, or before the movie they said, hey, everything in this movie is real. They did it even start with based on a true story? It didn't
You're
say any of that.
okay with that.
It's a movie. We watch it for entertainment, not for
I love the movie.
Wisdom.
I love the movie Sahara with Matthew McConaughey. I watched it like probably 3 or 4 times, maybe 4 times now. It's a complete fantasy. Yeah. It's like an Mission Impossible movie, like where it's a complete fantasy, like nothing Tom Cruise did in the, you didn't go, hey, that's not accurate.
Yeah.
Right. Every once in a while, you see like too many bullets coming out of a gun. It's like 35 shots in a handgun. I don't think so. But much as I love Sahara, and it's the same, like, they went crazy, and I like going crazy, but you can't go crazy in a Napoleon movie. It's a movie about a historical time and a historical figure.
Yeah, it's a movie, not a documentary.
This is such a great conflict, and you're okay with that.
I'm totally fine with it. If it's not meant to educate you, it's meant to be an entertainment piece.
Okay, and I'm supposed to be entertained by the little simp guy. I wasn't.
You're supposed to be entertained by the love story.
Okay, because we have this really weird difference.
Or the battle scenes, or whatever, whatever.
The battle scenes were largely great. And the court scenes, when they had, Napoleon in his governmental court, they were in the palace there. And, okay, Shane, I think that there was some kind of political agenda in creating a movie like this. $200 million were spent. And don't shake your head yet. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
But even more than what you have to say, I want to hear what our viewers have to say.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do. When you and I had these differences, I said we're going to see this in the comments.
Yeah.
And I'm eager to see that. So my statement, I'll make a statement, and then you can make your statement, right? My statement is somehow, some way, there was an agenda to take a strong political figure and weaken him. Not sure who wanted to do that. I don't know who paid the $200 million for this thing. But now tell me your thoughts on that idea.
I think there was a director who wanted to make a movie, and he made that movie, and there was no agenda. That's the movie he wanted to make. That's the story he wanted to tell.
Ridley Scott wanted to tell about Napoleon and Josephine. I would have, you know what? If they would have called the movie Napoleon and Josephine, I would buy that. But they didn't. They sucked me in by making it Napoleon. It turned out to be Josephine. It wasn't even Napoleon and Josephine. It was Josephine and Napoleon.
We should find out how many rewrites there were. And if there was a bunch of rewrites, then maybe that had something to do with it. But no, I don't think so. I think a lot of times in film school, we've spent way too much time looking into every detail. Why did he hold this pen? Is to show dominance over the woman, or blah, 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 blah. No, the director maybe just said, hold it. Maybe he just said...
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, yeah.
I'm eager to hear what everybody else has.
I would love to hear what the comments, do you guys think that there is an agenda being pushed, like Fred said, to demasculate men maybe, or men should be demasculated? Or do you think that it's just a movie, maybe it wasn't the best movie? Maybe you think it was a great movie.
Some people might. Some people might say, finally, we got the Napoleon and Josephine story. Finally, somebody made
is there even another Napoleon movie? Not that I'm aware of.
I'm sure there is.
Maybe.
But I can't recall.
Not of this budget, that's for sure.
Oh, no, certainly not like that. Anyway, okay, now, the fact that we have these differences, I think, is why we're here with the real generation gap. Because it's not even generational, it's a concept.
Yeah.
Right? There might be young people or old people that agree with you, and there might be young people and old people that see my vision of this thing. But you did say you didn't think it was a great movie. So what made it not a great movie for you?
I'm not too sure. It just didn't move me like Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon. Like those.
You really didn't care about Napoleon, did you?
Yeah. Something about his character development in the movie, I didn't really care.
I could fall in love with an unrequited love story, and he had an unrequited love life. But somehow, I didn't like her.
Yeah.
I didn't like him.
I particularly didn't like her.
Yeah. She was a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, not in appearance. She was, a beautiful woman or something.
You would think at the end they try to make their love stronger. And I feel like they try to do that. but I still didn't really I wasn't attached to them. I didn't want them to make it, you know?
And they totally didn't. And she never felt that. Like, she was always way outside the relationship. She was like, all right, you do your thing. I'm going to go over here and eat brioche.
Yeah.
And you're going to go do your thing. And, you know, win, lose, I don't care. Yeah. I'm in this country house, you know. And I don't think that she even imagined that she would survive. Like, I think she kind of figured, like, oh, they'll be killing me soon, because they killed everybody before her, right? They guillotined, you know, Marie Antoinette.
Her prior husband was murdered, correct?
Yeah, everybody was. France was just a you know, a hell on earth place. Everybody was starving. Yeah, it was really a disaster. And this guy came along, unified the country, brought back the economy. He made the country great again. You know, how's that for a loaded statement? How's that, you know? Yeah. You can have to wonder, right? And none of that was portrayed in the movie. It was just he was a sad little cat who never could quite get it together with his old lady. And no matter, there was even scenes in the movie where his motivation for an attack was to show her that he could do it or something.
A little spiteful.
I didn't buy that. Mm-hmm. Because in a military situation, even with an emperor, you have like a large cache of generals. You have advisors, and you have different on the ground. In other words, it's not just one army. Yeah. Like, this is the 40,000 guys, and we're going here only. You got guys fighting over here, guys fighting over here. You got supply line issues. There's all kind of things going on. And the movie didn't show any of that. It was just sort of like him with his army attacking somebody.
I think maybe what the story was trying to do and didn't really do a great job, or what it should have been, I don't know. But maybe a general's love for country over his love for a woman.
Right, and that was the last three things, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was France.
France Army, Josephine.
Right. and they are an Antony and Cleopatra couple. I mean, they were, you know, the hot couple. Like, they were, the whole country knew it. Mm-hmm. Everybody, and historically, you know, Napoleon and Josephine. Yeah. It's something you would say. But boy, oh boy, I really was disappointed. And I think that an interesting aspect of the movie historically was he attacked Russia, and the Russians used a strategy of scorched earth, right? They burned their own cities. Mm-hmm. There was nothing for his army to live off of as they moved through. And he did that, and he failed, right? And then, of course, Wellington at Waterloo, that was completely ridiculous. He was outnumbered 5-1. Mm. So, but then that happened, and then let's think about how many years later. That happened in about 1815. Then they had World War I. That was like 1915. Then Hitler, he had a whole different, he had the Luftwaffe. He had a mechanized force. He had big machines. They weren't going on horseback and walking to Moscow, right? So Hitler thought he could do it, but guess what? They used the same exact thing, the scorched earth.
Oh, really?
As he moved through the countryside, they burned the bridges, blew up the railroad tracks. They did everything. He no help at all from the, you know, everywhere he went, the farms were completely burned out. There was no food to be had, and he had to do it with his own supply lines. Now, his supply lines were mechanized. He had trucks bringing in stuff, not somebody carrying a basket of bread, you know. Yeah. So I guess he thought he could do it, but boy, oh boy. Yeah. If anything I learned in that movie, it's don't attack Russia. Yeah. Because it's really big. It's really far. And, you know, it's composed of lots of separate countries. Mm-hmm. And those people all have ethnic differences. And they're fighting for their homeland on lots and lots of fronts. So that was a huge mistake. I think that one of the aspects of the movie was that Napoleon had a massive ego. And he just thought that because he was on the battlefield, they would win. So when he attacked Wellington and the Hessians were coming, or the Prussians, or whoever those Germanic people that reinforced him, it was like that was a giant force. And when they came, he was like, okay, well, here now, oh, well, we had a chance, but, you know, we're done. And of course, they overwhelmed him and killed him, and it was a horrible thing. So, and look, Joaquin Phoenix, I love him as an actor. In Gladiator, he was phenomenal, and that was a Ridley Scott movie also. Yeah. I was really psyched. And a scene like this was a great Ridley Scott scene with a great actor, but oh my! And they didn't show him like on the horse with the red thing or the hand in the shirt, like all that classic stuff. None of that was here, but. Yeah, that's the classic on the left there with the big red cape. Yeah. So.
I mean, Growing up, my perception of Napoleon was always that he was this short guy and he had like a big ego and he had the Napoleon complex.
Right.
And until this movie, I never really thought to look into it. But apparently there was a British cartoonist, James Gillray, who kind of made that persona for him.
Right.
And he's British, of course. So that's why I've always known him as a short guy. And yeah, he made all these cartoons.
Well, he was. He's the little corporal, right? That was.
But he wasn't. He was average height. He was 5'5", which was average.
He was 5'5"?
Yeah.
That's not tall.
That was average then, though, in France. At least that's what I read.
Okay.
At least that's what I read.
Okay. But there were guys that were in excess of 6 feet. George Washington was well over 6 feet.
That's why they called him little, though, because Josephine was taller than him.
Right.
But I think he was average height for a man, as far as I read.
Okay. Well, I don't care about that. I accept that. I accept that. But he certainly wasn't a big guy.
Yeah.
But he was certainly big in ego and certainly big in strategic ability and military ability. He was a great man through history, but he failed. So I don't know. I wish that I wish that they made the movie that I wanted to see.
So you wish this movie was more about, I would guess, just say more focused on him, just him. Take out the love story. Talk about his rebuilding of the economy. More political war based. Is that what you think would be better?
As a history enthusiasm, I'm sorry.
Are you having a history enthusiasm? To be honest, I don't watch previews. I hate previews.
Well, you can't help it. You get to the theater and they barrage you with it, whether you like it or not.
Well, that's why you see the whole movie in the preview, or they make you think it's going to be
the wrong thing in the preview.
But anyways, what were you saying?
So I wanted to see a movie about nation building and military genius. And what I saw was a movie about a sad little guy who couldn't put his love life together. And then he made some military blunders and was destroyed. And I didn't need a movie like that. So I'm giving the movie, I'll give the movie a 4. Dang. Because Ridley Scott did a good job. The court scenes and the battle scenes, the makeup people and well, that's certainly not historically accurate, but the settings and everything. But when they shot the pyramid with the cannon, that was just stupid. Oh. That was just. I mean, why not? Then why not have a guy with an M16 run out and shoot everybody? Why not? Have an airplane come in and strafe. If you're going to make stuff that's not factually correct.
But there's been so many movies based on a true story. With inaccuracies. I wouldn't say
and this was one of them, and I didn't like those either.
I guess, I don't know. You seem to want something that was almost like a documentary. And I think I wanted to see something that just entertained me. But I didn't see any previews. I refused. Right. I tried not to watch previews.
So I'm saying I'm giving it a 4 because of its construction, not of its content. You saying you wanted to see something that entertained you. Yeah. How entertained were you? Yeah. What do you give
I'm
as
giving
a score?
It a 6.5. I don't think it was garbage. I don't think it was great. And it's a little better than a 5. It's a little better than neutral. I wasn't mad about it like you were. So I give it a 6.5.
I mean, look at that.
Do you know if he really said, what do you say? I found the crown of France.
I found the crown of France in the gutter. I picked it up with the tip of my sword.
Oh, I have no idea.
That was pretty cool. I don't know if it was real, but that was cool.
Right. I would have to, after the canon thing, I can't assume anything, but that must have been taken from history. I didn't contest that.
Yeah.
But what a mess. I was disappointed in the movie, and I couldn't see it the way you see it because I had a need.
Yeah.
I needed to see a different kind of movie. It didn't satisfy me. And if they had somehow blended this better or given me something,
let me ask you this.
I think most of the people who are going to Napoleon, they want to see a fantastic war movie. They don't want to see a love story.
Yeah, and I get that. Did it bother you that there was no French accents at all? Did that bother you at all? There was no accents. Germans, not really.
That didn't
accent.
bother me.
Okay.
I'm an American. I speak English, and this is a movie made for Americans in America. Yeah. So the fact that they did that, in fact, bad accents, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So
you're happy they just chose to not even go there.
I think they had one or two like French expressions that they might have used or something like that. So yeah, don't fake that.
But I didn't think it was necessarily a bad movie. I didn't think it was a great movie. And yeah, let's see what the comments think.
Okay.
Thank you for watching The Real Generation Gap. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Was there some hidden agenda in this movie, or was it just a movie? We want to know. I've been Shane Schuldmeyer.
I am Fred Satilli.
And as always, guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Like I just said, comment, let us know what you guys think. Please give us a like. Even better, give us a subscription so we can keep doing these movie reviews for you guys. And like I said before, check us out on Spotify if you're on your way to work. If you're at the grocery store and you don't have time to be on YouTube, we're on Spotify and a few other places you can find podcasts, but check us out there.